topic for today is, can anyone from Naruto stop the Gear 5 Bajrang Gun? Now, if you ain't already familiar with the Bajrang Gun, while using his latest form Gear 5th, Luffy creates a fist big enough to dwarf an entire island and retracts it just like he does in Gear 4th. And if you've been keeping up with the anime, you'll know that it's ultimately this move that defeats his latest antagonist, Kaido.
But I'm a fan of Naruto and a fan of One Piece. Which one do I like more?
What are you...
And generally, I hate power scaling videos because due to anime logic, I don't think you can ever accurately measure a comparison. The closest you can get is by giving it a really good go and making an argument with justifiable reasons.
What did you say his power level is? It's over 9,000! 9,000?! There's no way that can be right! It can't!
Don't be so sure.
And that's what we're going to do today. But before we get into this video, can I please beg for a sub? My channel's bleeding, bruv. And this video is good as well, so drop a sub, drop a like, let me know what you think of the video. Okay, first let's get some ground rules. First rule, we're going to talk about who could stop the Bajrang Gun, not survive it. Damn near every ninja worth his salt knows the flicker jutsu technique, so chances of survival would skyrocket and the video would take too long if we were to talk about that. Second rule, we're not going to be talking about Boruto because I hate Boruto, and I'm going to make a separate video about why I think Boruto is fucking garbage. But with that being said though, I'll still take into consideration feats from Boruto if it's necessary. Third rule, we will be including Haki in this conversation, and if any of you think it's unfair, then turn off the video and get the fuck on, because I'm not going to customize canon just to fit your agendas, and that would be an insult to me and all the Naruto fandom. Now, with that all out the way, let's establish how much force the Bajrang Gun actually produces. It's hard to determine how hard Luffy threw his punch, so scratch that. We're just going to calculate how strong it is by how much force it would take to support its weight, which we're going to say is the same size as Onigashima where Luffy used it. I'm not going to lie, I researched the math since I couldn't do it myself, and it turns out the weight was 230 trillion kilograms. But don't worry, it gets worse. I calculated the force needed to support that weight, and the calculation would be 2.26 quadrillion newtons of force. This is based on the mass of the object, 230 trillion kilograms, Luffy's fist, and the gravitational acceleration on Earth multiplied. If you need another comparison, you could say that that's several times stronger than the most powerful nuclear bomb ever detonated, known as the Tsar bomb, which has an initial impact of about 3 miles, but the radiation would have about a 20-mile radius. So just one of these could decimate a city. Now, if I hadn't watched Naruto, I would have just googled the top 5 strongest in that verse and talked about it with y'all that way, but I've actually watched Naruto, so there are a few moves or characters I'd like to discuss. First up is the Truth Seeker orbs, which nullify any ninjutsu. They touch and become impervious to it. Truth Seeking balls are extremely destructive, capable of turning targets to dust in a similar manner to the dust release. If Yin Yang is infused, then yes, it can delete matter, but not invisible forces like Kamui or gravity, and we know that Luffy infused Ryul or Advanced Conqueror's Haki on the Bajrang to keep a slight distance from touching those magma-like flames that Kaido, the antagonist he was facing, produced. So since it can't destroy invisible forces, the Truth Seeker orbs wouldn't be able to destroy the Bajrang Gun, and in terms of force, there's nothing for me to suggest they have enough resistance to not give way to opposingly strong amounts of pressure, like when Naruto kicked an orb away from Guy, or when Guy punched through the Truth Seeker wall. Like, you could say yes, but that's because they weren't formed to resist force at the time. Okay, fair enough. Show me a time when they were, so we can use that as a reference. No? You can't?
What the dog doing?
And shut your ass up, boy.
Really him. Really him.
You're a victim.
There we go, CSI.
Okay, next we're going to talk about the elephant in the room, the almighty push. the move that wiped out Konoha. Now, in the Naruto Shinden novels, it was said that Konoha is about 2 times bigger than the city of Tokyo. So just bear that in mind. Now, I can't calculate the mass of a city because unlike Onigashima, Konoha is a floating landmass, so I can't calculate the mass the same way. But the estimate I came up with is there are 13 million people in Tokyo, and the average weight of a person is about 75 kg. So 13 million times 75 is 975 million kg. And then times that by 4,000 square miles, that's about 4 trillion kg. But we're gonna say about 8 trillion because Konoha is twice as big. Multiplying the mass to the power of gravitational acceleration, you'd need about 38 trillion newtons of force to support that weight, which is practically the same amount of force it would take to counteract Earth's gravity. And even though that's impressive, that still pales in comparison to the force needed to stop the Bajrang Gun. To help you understand the difference in force, we're talking about the amount of gravity it takes to keep us on the planet versus the amount it would take to move another planet around its own orbit. Midas Einstein? Huh? Okay, next up is Perfect Susanoo. Susanoo. I'm only going to talk about the strength of Susanoo and not the jutsu performed through Susanoo because Susanoo itself is not actually a person and is separate from the user. It's all still Sasuke or Madara creating a chakra monster through the Mangekyo Sharingan. So with Susanoo, the best strength feat I've seen is when it cut the 8 mountains in half while Madara faced the 5 Kage. They also show Madara do this in the game, so what are we gonna do? More fucking calculations. Look at how I have to bend over backwards for you guys, huh? Okay, so I could not for the life of me know how to go about calculating this fully. So I just went online and found this guy in Quora who said he went to calculus school. So, and I believe him. Like, you don't just say you go to calculus school and lie about that. Like, I believe him. Anyway, he says the approximate weight of your average mountain would be about 260 trillion kilograms. Multiply that by 10, it's 2,600 trillion kilograms because 10 mountains. Now we need to find out how much force would be required to support that weight. And we already know how that calculation goes. So fast forward to the answer. It's about 25.5 quintillion newtons of force, which is trillions of times stronger than the almighty push. So, to be honest, the answer is yes. If the perfect Susanoo can be performed, it could stop the Bajrang Gun. That's it. Now, before I come to the end of the video, there are some honorable mentions I want to say without needing to go in depth, such as the Sushi Kage with his dust release. That's vaporizing, my boy. The 4th Hokage could probably divert the attack with his space-time jutsu, just like he did with the Tail Beast Bomb from the Nine Tails. Amaterasu is arguable as the Ryo might stop the flames from touching temporarily, but as soon as Luffy turns it off, because he has to run out of haki at some point, don't know when, but he has to, then it could be curtains, but I don't know, with Toon Force he might be able to get rid of that, but we'll see if Gear 5 Luffy actually has Toon Force or not. Let me know in the comments if there are any that you think I missed or that you want to argue about. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel to help support a small YouTuber like me. And I'll see you in the next video.